Hey guys, welcome back. Dan Shields here. It is good to finally be back. I've been away for a while, so I've just been crazy busy doing all kinds of stuff, and it's kept me away from making my normal videos. So I'm glad to be back and glad to be sharing some stuff with you today. And actually, I've got a really huge announcement. I'll tell you in a couple minutes here that I'm really excited about, and that's the primary thing that I've been working on. As many of you know, I put out material on this channel pretty regularly. Just helping intermediate guitar players learn skills to become advanced guitar players, professional level guitar players. But one of the things that I've been working on over the last, really decades, is a thing called the Guitar Daily Workout. It's really how to learn your essential scales in a really logical, progressive, systematic way. And that's something that's super important. Guitar players need to know their basic scales. And they need to know how to play them and how to practice them. And this was something that really, it was born for me way back when I was in music school. I realized there wasn't a systematic method for really learning your most important scales and arpeggios and all of that stuff that's really vital stuff. So I sought out to just do one book. That was my idea, and it was basically like going through the Cage system, understanding how your octaves work together with the different shapes in like your pentatonic scale in one position and your major scale in one position and your arpeggio in one position and so on through all the positions that you have. And I realized that's super important information for guitar players to know, just knowing your 5 positions of your Cage system with your pentatonic scale, your arpeggio, and your major scale. So I wrote that book. And when I got to the end of it, I quickly realized it wasn't quite enough. It didn't quite drive it home enough. I needed to do a little bit more. So I wrote book 2. Well, when I finished up book 2, I realized I didn't go through any of the modes that are 3 on a string modes that guitar players need to know if you really want to be a good guitar player. And I started thinking about the arpeggios, and I thought in arpeggios, what you really need to know is not just a single arpeggio, but you need to know where all of your arpeggios are in one position. And so on, because that's where your melodies come from. If you don't know your arpeggio shapes, you can't play melodically. Everything you play is going to sound like you're wandering on a pentatonic or a major scale. So I wrote book 3, and then when I finished book 3, I realized this has got to go a step deeper, and I wrote book 4. Well, you can see where this is going. Then, I finished up book 4. We'll get through all of the modes, all of your arpeggios, some more pentatonic studies. But then I started thinking about it'd be really good to learn stuff like all of your 3 on a string stuff, because you need to know where your D chord is, for instance, and you need to know where your D major pentatonic goes along with it. And you need to know your major scale in those positions. So you need to know all of your 3 on, all of your major scale and your pentatonics going up. And so on, all on 3-string sets. That's super vital to be able to know. So that way, if you play a G in the key of D, you know that that's your major scale, And on it went. Well, by the end of this thing, I ended up writing 12 books. Yes, it's really insane. So it's definitely, I think it is, and you guys can correct me if you know something that's, if this is incorrect information, please, post it below. But I think it's the most comprehensive book series ever written on technique for guitar ever. It's 12 books altogether. It goes through all of the most important scales that you need to know, but it takes them in a really logical way. So it starts with the foundations that are most important. It gets to the intermediate stuff, and then the really advanced stuff that, some players don't even need to know. Not everybody needs to know how to play a whole tone scale or something, or your diminished scales or whatever, So you don't need to know all that stuff necessarily if you're just a pop player or something. But, those who are dabbling in jazz or moving into prog rock or something might need that. So I ended up writing all 12 of these books. I think it's over 2,700 pages. I've done 600 instructional videos and another 600 play-along videos for it. So like 1,200 videos altogether or something like that. It's a pretty monumental project. But what it does is it teaches you the most important technical studies for your scales and arpeggios and stuff. And if you're watching this channel, this is not a beginner channel, you probably know how important that stuff is. So all that to say, I've only got the first 4 books in print, but all of them are in digital format. If you buy one of the books, I'd recommend the digital format over the book form, actually, because who wants an actual book anymore? Everybody reads stuff on online. But each of these are 12 weeks, and basically what it does is it teaches you every single week. It's about 25 minutes worth of practice. It's like a Peloton workout for guitar. It's just an exercise program. But if you do this program, if you follow the program, you're going to learn your stuff. And even if you just did the first book, you'll know your cage system really well. If you do the second book, you'll have mastery over that system, which is really an important thing. And then through all of the books, it goes on and on and on through all of the different scales you'll learn. So it's one of these books, you don't learn it by just watching it. You actually have to get your guitar and you actually have to do it. It's a little bit more, again, like doing a Peloton workout or, doing the Couch to 5K or something like that, where, you're actually doing the exercises. But anyhow, that's a long-winded way to say that's what I've been doing. You've been seeing some of the videos come out. What I've posted on my channel here is a first week tryout. So if you want to try any of these out, you can try it out for 1 week and see hey, is this something that would actually help me? I guarantee it's going to help you. I guarantee it'll make you a better player. As a matter of fact, I have a 100% guarantee. If you finish the thing, I'll give you your money back for free. If you're like, nope, didn't help me at all. Because I think everybody is going to think that it really was super helpful for them. I think everybody will walk away from doing this if they've done it and be thankful that they've done it. And they'll see how the guitar is put together more than they did previously. And even if they sort of knew all this material, it's going to put it together in a way where all of a sudden the light bulb goes on and you're like, oh, that's how this stuff connects. That's why this is so important. And this is how you use it. Now, one other exciting thing, I've started in on working, nobody gets to be a virtuoso by playing scales. Nobody's a great player by just doing scales alone. You've got to be able to apply those, and you've got to learn from other players and learn vocabulary by, stealing lines and riffs and all of that sort of stuff. That's all vitally important stuff. But I'm actually starting to work on, believe it or not, I'm just getting this one off the ground, but I'm starting to work on the accompaniment one that will actually have how do you use this stuff? How do you actually apply this stuff? But much of the stuff is self-explanatory too. You'll see right away, oh, I totally get what this is and how this can be useful. So anyhow, that's my exciting news. I've got all the books here. I'd love if some of you went on my website. The best way to get to it is guitardailyworkout.com. So www.guitardailyworkout.com. I'll put a link below. You can find that also on all of the Guitar Daily Workout stuff on this channel. If you just scroll down into the description, it's listed there. You can just click on it and look through it and see if that's something you might be interested in. But I guarantee, if you've gotten far enough on the guitar, you know how important some of this stuff is. And if you're willing to put in the time and the effort, it will get you better. This is how all the greats train. When you look at the classical musicians, they all train the same way to get to that high level that so many classical musicians get to. They go through repertoire pieces, but they also go through technique studies, and they have to do technique studies in order to be able to access all of the repertoire that's so difficult. And this is basically very much like the classical studies the classical players use, but it's more for pop players and contemporary players who are playing modern guitar stuff. But it really will get you through the basics in a way that it was going to put together the guitar deck. So anyhow, that's my fun announcement. I'm really excited about it. I've been working on this for about a decade. So I've literally been, I think it was 10 years ago almost exactly that I started actually writing these books and putting together the videos and putting out the material. And finally now it's done, and you can go on the website and check out all the stuff about it and find out all that you want to know about it and more on guitardailyworkout.com. So hopefully that's going to be helpful to you guys. If you have guitar player friends, please pass this stuff on. I think it'll be really helpful for them. Obviously I'm doing it because I want to be able to make some money on it and stuff. But I really honestly, from the bottom of my heart, believe that this stuff, if that's what you want to learn, I believe that there's no better way to learn it than going through these methods. And I've over the years studied a whole bunch of different, I've gone through book after book after book after book. There's excellent material out there. There's really important books that are out there, but I don't think there's anything quite like this. And I know for certain that there's not anything like this as far as how comprehensive it is. So that's my announcement. And until next time, God bless.